A mystery no more. FC Cincinnati is close to cementing its plans to build a new soccer stadium in the West End.
One city councilman says that he's on board for a taxpayer-funded infrastructure deal. New at 6, a community advocate says that brought tears to her eyes.
We actually sat with Mr. Sittenfeld, and he thought that it was a bad idea for this stadium to come in the West End, and now to hear that he's supporting it really hurt.
Let's bring you up to speed. That announcement this morning from Councilman Sittenfeld means that City Council likely has enough votes to go ahead and pass a nearly $34 million plan to build utility lines, parking, and also to prepare the site.
But you will remember the club wants to build on the site of Stargel Stadium. That takes approval from Cincinnati Public Schools. The board will vote in 10 days. They'll consider a term sheet, pledges from FC Cincinnati to the school board, including an upfront tax payment of about $175 million and building a new $10 million Stargel Stadium across the street from Taft High School. All
right, so the community leaders involved might give this a thumbs up, but what about the neighbors in the West End?
9 on Your Side spoke to people there after the West End was considered for a stadium. 9 on Your Side's Julie O'Neill returned there today to get their thoughts. Julie.
Well, Kristen and Craig, with it looking more and more likely a soccer stadium will replace Stargel Stadium, I talked to several people with some nervous energy. Some feel like they could be big winners. Others are fearing there goes the neighborhood. Joe Jarvis gets ready for the official opening of his Wade Street condo development. Abandoned buildings in 2014, he and his wife have rehabbed into the 20-plus unit Coopers Flats. The possibility of all the development around his property for a new professional soccer stadium can only be good news.
It can't be bad for me since I own some property here.
For Joe Brower, whose family has owned Parkway Automotive on Central Parkway for 30 years, it's a mixed bag of news.
I'm all good for expansion and neighborhood improvement.
He could use extra traffic coming through to a soccer stadium right behind him, but Brower rents his building.
Depending on what happens with the infrastructure, and as long as landlords is good for me staying here, I'm all good for it. But it could be a detrimental thing to me and my business and family.
Suddenly you could be told you're out of here.
I suppose so.
That is the big concern for many who live in the West End. Councilmember P.G.Sittenfeld's announcement a deal would include 162 units of affordable housing gives little encouragement to Allie Graff with the Greater Cincinnati Homeless Coalition.
History tells us there is a good chance at least of over 1,000 people being displaced, and that 162 will not cover what will happen in this neighborhood.
We can't afford affordable housing.
Contina Davis with the Liberty Street Residential Council says an FC Cincy stadium will change so much for those with so little.
We love who we are, the history that we already have down here. We don't want to lose it, and we shouldn't have to give it up to accommodate soccer.
While it seems the West End location is a foregone conclusion, this deal is not yet done. As mentioned, the school board will have to vote on this at their next board meeting, April 16th. In the meantime, we will keep you abreast of every development in this story. In the West End, I'm Julie O'Neill, 9 on Your Side.